After probably one of the most exciting races we've seen for quite a while at Bristol last week, we head westwards to the California state and to one of its most famous tracks in California, Auto Club Speedway. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to ESPN. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett. Hopefully joining me soon in the booth will be one Mr. Byron Rodney. Thank you for making us a part of your evening here on ESPN, and what a race we have in store for you right now. Qualifying currently underway for this one, so we should have some racing for you and action on the track for you very soon. As you see at the bottom of your screen there, times are coming in thick and fast, and let's go down to the track now straight away for the action down there at the moment. And we have Brendan Biesinger currently at the top of the board at the moment, as he's just coming out for some more practice laps. Let's take a look and see who else is out there right now. We've got Kevin Ruff right now, and Kevin, I wanted to mention last week he had a good run, but unfortunately the attrition rate at Bristol caught up with him, as well as everybody else last week. Hopefully he can have a better run here tonight, as we got on the podium last week, so we can't really complain too much. As he crosses the line, and he will, oh no, get up to oh, he didn't put a time in actually, so unfortunately there for Kevin Ruff. I think that might have been his outlap though, not really sure. As we are still watching Kevin Ruff making his way around the circuit. Just bear with me 1 second, just got to change a couple of things. And I'll be right with you. As yeah, Kevin Ruff going up to P9 after his first lap. Let's see if he can improve on the second. As he comes through 3 and 4 for the second time here tonight, he comes down towards the line. Is he going to go down to the apron? The answer is yes, and he will cross the line. Kevin Ruff will move up to P7, so good time for Kevin Ruff there at the end. Not too shabby at all there for the driver of the 12 Goodyear machine. As he finishes his run. Let's go to Brian Fine right now. Well, we'll go into him in just a second. I'm just working on something here. As there we go. Finally made the edit that I needed to make, as we're going to go to Brian Fine now on track right now, as he's going to cross the line. And where will this put him? Well, that was his outlap, so it won't put him anywhere right now, as he comes through 1 and 2 on his flying lap. We've got about 4 minutes and about 10 seconds left as he comes out of turn 2, and let's see if he can get a good time in this time around, as he comes flying in towards turn 3. Out of turn 4. Can Brian Fine actually have a good race this time? He didn't really have the best of times at Bristol last week, and he goes to P14. That's second from last. Now, one of the drivers that was lightning quick last week is this man in the number 48. That's Craig Burns. He'll be looking for a good run here tonight as well at Auto Club. As still waiting for Byron to get in. I'm sure he'll be in very soon. Let's go back to Brian Fine as he's about to finish his second lap here. Down on the apron just like everybody else, and he'll cross the line. Will this be an improvement for the number 57? And it will not be an improvement, unfortunately. as Craig Burns has now started his flying lap out on track. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, Kevin Zabladil, who finished second last week, is out on track as well. We'll be interested to see how he can pick himself up after a very entertaining race for himself last week. As here comes Craig Burns down across the line. Straight up to P7 for Craig Burns. Great time for him there. Very well done. As it comes out of turn 2. Oh, scrapes the wall out of 2. That might be lap over for the 48, but we'll find out when he gets to the line. He definitely saw the sparks there. He did brush the wall coming out of turn 2. Out of turn 4 right now. Here comes Craig Burns now down towards the line. And what will this be for the 48? He goes up to P3, so his time did count at the end there as we go to Kevin Zabladil. Man who had such a great run last week. He'll come across the line for his second lap. Complete his second lap, and he will get only P16 in this one. 17 drivers set to take the green in this one here tonight as still waiting on Byron to get in. Apparently his internet is running very slow, but with qualifying pretty much over, it's pretty much back to normal for Ryan Bean. He gets the pole for tonight, and Brendan Biesinger, after his win last week, he will get second. We'll go through the full grid rundown in just a second, but a very, very good qualifying session so far from what we saw of it. I'll be very interested to see who can come out on top in this one here tonight, as we have 100 laps of great racing action here for you on ESPN with the Medieval Racing League, as always. So, with about 30 seconds left in qualifying. Just want to find out. Hold on. So, qualifying is over here at Auto Club, and we are ready to go racing. So that means we are going to jump straight to the grid for tonight's race, and starting up on the pole here at this fantastic track for the Sunny Days 100. Here will be Ryan Bean for Front Row Racing. He'll be joined on the front row by Brendan Biesinger, last week's winner at Bristol. Row 2 will be Craig Burns and Trevor Massetti. Row 3 will be Rusty Modesty and Jordan Collins. Jordan Collins will be hoping for a bit more luck this time around after some pretty disappointing results at both Bristol and the round before that one. Row 4 will be Carl Burke and Kevin Ruff, and row 5 will be Briggs Swope and Chad Biesinger. Row 6 will be Michael Sheffield making his return to the series after missing out last week. He'll be joined by Josh Maxwell on the 6th row. Row 7 will be Jeff Carson and Kevin Sibilia. Row 8 will be Brian Fine and Kevin Zabladil, and bringing up the rear of the field for this 100 lap race will be Ryan Ezel. So as the engines fire up, we are ready to go racing here at this one. We're waiting for everybody to get going. For some reason my cameras won't. There we go. We're going to go to the grid for this one. There they are. All 17 cars set to take the green here tonight for this 100 lap race. And it couldn't get any more exciting. Now we're expecting a lot more, just as much excitement as we saw last week when we headed to when they raced at Bristol. I who'd have thought that one would have been so exciting. Obviously, Bristol likes to throw up a lot of cautions. We got only 8 cautions last week, which was very pleasantly surprising. Anyway, pace car about to start rolling here for the race. As there goes the pace car. There go the field out of pit road towards the track area. That's Abadil. There goes Ryan Ezell. There is your top 2 right there. Brian Bean, Brendan Biesinger. Can Ryan Bean have a good race this week? He didn't have the best one last week. We'll be looking forward to see how any of these drivers react around here tonight. As we're about to get lap 1 underway, Ryan Bean in control. Brendan Biesinger second. Craig Burns, he'll be looking for a good one tonight, as well as Trevor Massetti. But here we go, we are ready to go right now. Through turns 3 and 4. And it is on for 100 laps here for the Sunny Days 100 at Auto Club with the Medieval Racing League. Pace car is off into pit road, and we are seeing Ryan Bean in control of the field. Green flag will fly in the air right now, and we are racing here at Auto Club for 100 laps. As it comes through turns 1 and 2 for the first time in tonight, it's going to be Ryan Bean leading them out. And here comes Craig Burns. Great start for him. Brendan Biesinger, another bad start to the race for him. As they come down the backstretch right now, he's side by side with Craig Burns for that second spot. And right at the bottom of the track, we saw it right there. Trevor Massetti is down there too in the number 8 Budweiser machine. As they come out of turn 4 for the first time tonight, we are racing and basing a big slide there. Big tail wiggle. As they come across the line, it's Ryan Bean in control of the field after lap 1 of tonight's race. Through turns 1 and 2 for the second time here tonight, it's going to be Bean, Burns, Massetti up to 3rd, Jordan Collins up to 4th, Brendan Biesinger falling back to 5th and still falling as now Kevin Ruff is to his outside now for that position, and Rusty Modesty has moved forward as well. There is Brendan Biesinger, a horrid start again for the man in the 68, and now Carl Burke will be the next one to look at. We'll be looking to get around him. And Chad Biesinger right there as well. Let's mention about Chad Biesinger. Great run for him as well at Bristol. Unfortunately ended after being pitted with the during the overtime run. Back in the front right now, there is your leader Ryan Bean, just ahead of Craig Burns. Now we have to remember this is 100 laps, but 100 laps is a long time when you're on a 2-mile track like this. So they're going to have to keep their wits about them. It's very much a mental game as they come out of turn 4. Ryan Bean still leading things there as we've got a bit of a breakaway actually. Top 4 starting to get away from Kevin Ruff, and Ruff goes into the wall through 1 and 2. And that might let Rusty Modesty have a bit of a chance here as Craig Burns now challenging for the lead here. Through turns 3 and 4. Gets a big dive down there and he will take away the lead. Can Ryan Bean get a run on the outside and get the lead back? The answer is no, as Craig Burns actually goes up to defend almost immediately as he took the lead, and now Ryan Bean has control of the bottom of the track, and he will use that extra straight line speed to move his way back to the point. And now Craig Burns going to drive out really wide, and that might let Trevor Massetti in for second place now as they come out of 2. As Craig Burns comes back again. down the inside, and we might see a lot of swapping, chopping and changing as this race goes on. And we've seen it a lot already as Craig Burns was not able to capitalize on that, as Jordan Collins now currently battling with Trevor Massetti for that third spot. It's Kevin Ruff now starting to reel them back in, and he's bringing Carl Burke with him. Rusty Modesty is falling back as Brendan Beesing is still falling backwards. He's all the way down in P13 now. A horrid start to the race for last week's race winner. He's already been passed by Brig Swope. Josh Maxwell will be the next one to try and get around him, and there he goes to the bottom of the track in that number 88 machine. Still not able to get the job done here, as that is actually the 5 of Ryan Ezell to his outside. Last week's star drivers, Kevin Zabladil, not having the best run this time round, probably more suited to the short tracks. That might be my thoughts on it, but there's your top 4 anyway. Ryan Bean, Craig Burns, Trevor Massetti, Jordan Collins. Now we've called those names out a lot this season, and with good reason. It's, oh no, Jordan Collins hits the wall and he will go through the grass here. Big mistake there by the 13, and more bad luck coming his way. As there go Kevin Ruff and Carl Burke just ahead of him. And Carl Burke, well, Kevin Ruff, Jordan Collins, I apologise, will have a lot of right side damage now. Question is, how can he maintain that? He's going to have to control it. I don't think there's any fast repairs in this one. So he's going to have to deal with that for the duration of the race now. As Rusty Modesty. Brian Fine moving on to P7. He's your biggest mover so far tonight. Up from P15. Brian Fine now up in P8 now. So Fine is on the move in the McDonald's 57. And he's looking to put a move on Rusty Modesty next. As tyres will start to become a factor very soon. We're on lap 9 of 100. I believe these cars did have the interesting draft package on them before they got sent away to be replaced by the Camaro. And when I say the interesting draft package, I mean the package that they had on them that kept the cars together for about 9 or 10 laps before the separation began. And the tyres started to wear off. As Ryan Bean still leads this thing. Let's go a bit further back in the field. Michael Sheffield just holding on to the last spot in the top 10 right now. He is just ahead of Jeff Carson. And you see Carson right there in the number 9 machine. There is Michael Sheffield in the Stars and Stripes 29 as he looks to the inside of Brian Fine. Chad Biesinger has actually moved forward as well now. He's up 2 spots to P8 now. And he's on the move. He's looking to the back of Rusty Modesty. He's falling back into this group now. Modesty must be struggling with tyres already as they go through 1 and 2 on lap 11. We're already past 1/10 distance here in this race. Take a look at Jordan Collins now to see how he's managed to recover after that mistake out of turn 4 a couple of laps ago. He's actually started to close back in on Carl Burke now as we've got a battle for the lead once again, and Craig Burns now took a couple of laps to recover, but now is back on the attack again as he looks to the inside of Ryan Bean, looking for that lead once again out of turn 2. And a big hello to Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking, who are watching here tonight. Big fan of your channel. Good to see that you're here supporting. I believe you're supporting Carl Burke for this one, so Good to see you out there as Ryan being able to hold on to that lead. Great defensive driving for the number 28. Let's take a look at Carl Burke right there in the mean green machine. He does have outdoor cast iron cooking on the hood of his car and on the rear quarter panels. So he is rocking those guys. He's repping those guys very nicely. Oh, I thought it was on the rear quarter panel. But anyway, good to see them being well supported here as we go back to the back of the field. Kevin Sibilia has had an issue somewhere because he's fallen to the back of the field. Now Kevin Zabladil is actually starting to move forward now, so maybe probably was saving his tyres early on and has now decided to move forward, but he's only gone ahead of Kevin Sibilia so far. Just ahead of him is Josh Maxwell. Ryan Izell is there as well as Greg Swope has fallen backwards. Brendan Beesing a damn 10 spots, but he's back up to P12 now. After moving around the outside of Brick Swope there, good move there by the 68. As his next target will be the number 9 of Jeff Carson, and there is Carson. Currently sitting P11 just outside the top 10 behind Michael Sheffield. And Brian Fine looks like he's defending for his life there, and he's battling with Chet Beesing it. I'm still waiting for Byron. Not sure where he is. As Beesinger looks like he might have the outside line, the better line out of turn 2 than Brian Fine, and he does as Carl Burke goes around. Jordan Collins right behind him. Caution is out on the track. And Carl Burke came back up again. Take a look and see what happened here. And oh, it looked like it was a bad push from Jordan Collins. And Burke had no control of the car, just came back up on the track. Thankfully, nobody hit him. Dabler Deal went off track as well. Let's take a look and see what happened to him. He was trying to avoid the incident, so no harm, no foul. More damage on the front of Jordan Collins now. After that incident, and we are under our first caution of the night here at Auto Club. And it was an incident between Jordan Collins and Carl Burke that caused it. So more bad luck between the two. As joining me in the booth finally after dealing with his connection problems, Byron Rodney, welcome to the race.
Well, I don't know how my connection's doing now. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can.
Okay, well, it sounds a little funny on my end. I got a low bandwidth connection for some darn reason. It's the internet, folks, and I'm in the mobile command center. Better late than never, as I joined here, California, medieval racing. The old car's on the track. Fill me in. What do we got going on so far? Lap 17 of 100.
Another bad start by Brendan Beesinger. He fell to the back of the field, and we've just had a caution come out. Collision between Jordan Collins and Carl Burke. Carl Burke coming off the worst in that one. So we're under our first caution.
Yeah, I see pretty much the whole field. Yeah, I see pretty much the whole field in the pit lane. Checking out the info on the race. No fast repairs as usual. And I'm not even seeing tire limits on this thing.
There should be 5 tires.
Yep, 5 sets.
Yeah.
1 on the car, 4 in the pits.
Yeah, first stage is going to be ending where they have stages, but they don't have static stages. They carry on, but the points are awarded at the end of each stage, but they carry on as normal. First stage ends on lap 25. Second stage it ends on lap 50. Then the final points are awarded for the race results. So a bit of a different strategy here when it comes to the stage racing here. They just continue racing regardless and just award points at the certain lap times.
Yeah, I want to apologize to everyone. I did not realize where I am parked at. I am in the lovely community of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, with a internet connection that decided it wanted to tease me like a sadistic lover. Go fast, slow down. Go fast, slow down. I was like, ah.
Anyway, we've had an epic battle between Ryan Bean and Carl Craig Burns so far for the lead. And Byron, I don't know if you're in the session yet, but I would like you to get us going for this second restart.
All right, Ryan Bean's got control of the field. Got Craig Burns right next to him. Ryan Bean electing the outside lane. Craig Burns on the inside. Or is that Craig Burns out in the lead? I can't tell.
Ryan Bean's
My
on the
timing
outside.
and scoring is... Okay, Ryan Bean on the outside. My timing and scoring is catching up right now. Big, long track here. Multiple groove race in California, the twin sister to Michigan. But it's got a lot more personality, a lot more worn-out track, a lot more bumps. Those seams can be real tricky. You got to pretty much straddle them because when you get into the corner on those seams, you're going to lose traction on those tires, as I'm pretty sure these guys have already started to find out. Big sweeping long corners, multiple grooves, like I said. Pace car, piloted by Pache KR out in front of the field. Going to take that hard left down into pit lane as we're working around turn 3 into turn 4. Just waiting on the green flag to come out. 2 miles a long way around. Pace car takes the left turn into pit lane, waiting on Barney the flag man to wave that green flag. Ryan Bean says, I'm out of here, catch me if you can. Stomps on the loud pedal, but oh my God, I don't know what happened to Craig Burns, but it looked like he just fell asleep at the wheel there.
Yeah, horrible restart by the 48 there. Probably very similar to the start that Brendan Biesinger got at the very start of this race, but we said last week that Biesinger got a horrible start at Bristol. Now, that was a good omen for him because he came back and won the whole thing, but he's pretty far back right now. He's currently sitting in P13, not having the best of races so far.
This is a whole different track than Bristol. It's a whole different track than all the other tracks that we've been to. It's a 2-mile track. It races like a super speedway. The draft is very important. Keeping the fender straight on these cars, very important. But you don't have the restrictor plate in these things like you do on a super speedway. You have the full horsepower capability of this engine, as Craig Burns is right on the tail of Kevin Ruff.
Yeah, Craig Burns has recovered from his bad restart and now right in the back of the 12 Goodyear machine. Right behind him is Trevor Massetti in the number 8 Budweiser machine. Right behind him is Brian Fine. Now, these guys opted to stay out during the caution, so I don't know if that's going to come back to bite them. We will soon find out. But very much a split strategy type of race so far, as Craig Burns takes a little peek to the inside of Kevin Ruff, opted not to make the move yet.
Yeah, and we've seen these guys, the way they race in this league, the talent that's behind the wheel. I would expect long green flag runs here, so splitting up that fuel strategy like they did. Don't know what they're thinking. It's how many times have we seen this league come down to where did you make your last stop at? When did you make your first stop? Because long green flag runs can be a hallmark in this league.
Yeah, looking to Brick Swope, who missed last week's race at Bristol. He's currently sitting in P12 right now. Currently battling with Ryan Ezell, Rusty Modesty and Kevin Sibilia. It's actually Rusty Modesty side by side with Ryan Ezell. We've got one in the wall, and that is Kevin Zabladil. A big hit into the wall there for the 17. And the man that had such a great race last week is struggling already.
Yeah, it looks like he might have pushed it. This, long sweeping corners, you carry a ton of momentum into that corner, and if you don't get on the binders and you're driving in too deep, you're going to wash up the track, and you're going to say hello wall with a tight condition. That's where you turn the wheel, and the car says, nah, I think I'm going to keep going forward. I'm going to turn the wheel some more. Nah, I'm going to keep going forward. Well, when the track takes a left turn and you keep going forward, hello wall.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Zabladil right now as Rusty Modesty makes his way around pretty easily. I will say I'm pretty sure that number 17 car is now down on horsepower because of that, as we've got side-by-side action in front of them. I believe that's Brian Fine and Chad Biesinger going at it right up ahead. They are 2 by 2 behind us. No, Brian Fine has actually got away. B Singer is actually side by side with Ryan Ezell right now.
B Singer. Don't know what's happening with the 23 machine there. Making sure that I'm pulled up live. Yeah, Ryan Ezell getting around B Singer. Working, actually hasn't gotten around him yet. Working that inside. Ryan Ezell diving that low lane and does what we call the slide job. He's going to bring that thing right back up. B Singer might have had a little bit of problem, might have tapped that wall, don't know. But he seems to be driving with a little bit of a parachute behind the car.
That was actually Brick Swope that just got around him. Ezell somehow got away from him, and now Ezell challenging to the back of Brian Fine. Brendan B Singer, though, he's having some serious problems tonight. He has fallen off the back of the pack here. He might be in danger of losing them at this point.
Yeah, and you do need to stay in touch with the pack here because, like I said, draft is a thing. You know, aerodynamics are a thing, and you need to get into that wake of the car in front of you to be able to suck up to it. But sweet.
We've got a new leader, Michael Sheffield, somehow making his way to the front of the field, and that's the difference between old and new tyres right there, Byron. Sheffield pit under that last caution, got fresh tyres, got fresh fuel, and look where he is now, leading this race coming out of turn 4 on lap 25. And he will actually win the first stage of the race. Yeah,
first stage of the race, points going to Michael Sheffield. Ryan Bean crossing the line second, followed by Kevin Ruff. Ryan Ezell up to fourth, and Craig Burns. You got to be wondering, those guys that stayed out on their old tires, we got 26 laps on those things right now. They're probably starting to give up the ghost on them.
Very much so, as you see Ryan Ezell moving his way forward. He's another one of the drivers that took it down pit road during that caution. And he is scything his way through the field, as is Briggs Swope right now. The three drivers who took it down pit road during that last caution, moving their way forward. And look at the lead that Michael Sheffield has got already. He says, see you later, boys, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's got the definite mind to catch me if you can. But that's that fresh rubber talking. And the whole group behind him is starting to get overhauled by everyone else on fresh rubber. And you got to wonder if they're starting to regret that choice of staying out or not. But those guys that did stay out, think about it, Sam. Late race caution, they'll have an extra set of tires over the rest of the field.
Ryan Ezell just moved up to second place. There comes Briggs Swope now to the inside of Kevin Rupp, and we'll move to the inside of Ryan Bean as well. And yeah, you are right. These guys that went and took fresh tires, they're going to be one less than the guys that have stayed out. So there might be a bit of a different strategy call once we get to the end of this race. We'll soon find out, as we're just about to tick over to lap 29 of this race. Well, we're in about half a lap's time, but Ryan Ezell up to second place now. Briggs Swope looking to move up to third place. He's just moved up to fourth ahead of Kevin Ruff. Now will catch the draft of Ryan Bean. Now, the other drivers that took it down pit road, they are not moving forward, although Carl Burke, despite the damage on his car, he's moving forward as well.
Yeah, but think about it, though, Sam. Those guys that came down pit road, they're flying right now on fresh tires. The ones that stayed out, you see the penalty they're paying right now. But if this race were to stay green, which it can here at California, think about it. We're going to have split strategies. They're going to come in for tires and fuel and have way faster lap times than these guys. Now it's going to work out to the math of how far can you go on a tank of go fast.
That's absolutely right, as Carl Burke now moves his way up to P8 right now. Ryan Bean still trying to hold off Briggs Swope, but Swope going to take the very deep line in turns 3 and 4. As we're about to tick over to lap 30 right now, and Briggs Swope will definitely move his way up to third place now. That extra tyre power working in his favour. But this is a very interesting...
Look at the momentum. Look at the momentum that Bean is able to hold on old tires on the outside lane now.
Yeah, had to give it up in the end though. Didn't have the tyre wear available to him, but this is the sort of thing I like though, Byron. Split strategies amongst the whole field. This could make the race very interesting on a strategy point of view.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, whoever's crew chiefing for you has got to have that calculator out. And You had to have spent a lot of time in practice to sit down and figure out exactly how far can you go on a tank of Go Fast here. Now, granted, iRacing gives you a few tools in your heads-up display. It gives you an estimate of how much fuel you have left and how far, how many more laps you can go. But unless you've gone out there and run that tank dry, you can't tell for certain. And then there's also the fact we're at a long track, a 2-mile oval, and if you're sitting there behind somebody, you're able to carry that same momentum without having to use as much of the throttle. So you're able to save, say, another lap, maybe lap and a half of fuel by staying in behind somebody. So yeah, strategy's playing out big time, and I'm going to be really interested to see that group that stayed out, how far they can keep it out as we're working lap 31 of 100.
Just took over to lap 32, and still no caution right now. Brandon Biesinger is actually going to bring it down to pit road, so more problems for that number 68. He just does not have the pace here tonight at Auto Club that he did at Bristol. As we're just cycling through the field right now, we're seeing the field really starting to get spread out now, actually, as it seems. Not really any battles going on right now.
No, Michael Sheffield, he set sail and said, I am really out of here. 3-second advantage on Ryan Ezell, who's got Briggs Swope to his inside right now. Battle for second place going on the track.
Yeah, and Briggs Swope having to give it up for the moment as Ezell using the Larson line around the outside of turns 3 and 4 to hold on for now. But Swope seems to be the faster one of the two. And Swope still holding on to that inside line through 1 and 2. But Ezell still opting for the middle and high line right now. Might seem to be finding a lot more pace up there than the 14.
Yeah, I'm thinking that middle to high line is just Ryan Ezell's best friend. Briggs Swope, yeah, he can drive it in deep. And you see him kind of get up next to Ezell as he drives it in deep, but he doesn't have the grip right now or the momentum to hold it right there. And the high side momentum takes over when they get to the straightaway. Ryan Ezell's back able to leg it back out. And just as I say that, look at that. Briggs Swope crosses the line right next to him, and it looks like he's going to complete the pass.
And that he does. Briggs Swope now up to second place in this one. We are almost to, well, we're very quickly heading towards half distance already. The cross flags are not that far away, and some very good racing we've seen so far. Briggs Swope up to second place, Ryan Ezell into third, Ryan Bean and most of the drivers behind him just hanging on there with the older tyres. But Josh Maxwell is going to be the next one to push his way forward. He's another one that took it down pit road last time round.
Yeah, the guys that took it down pit road last time around have got a lot fresher rubber than the guys that didn't. The guys that didn't are working 35 laps on their tires right now. And you also got to wonder how far they're going to go on that fuel tank to bring it in. If they're going to do it on a 2-stop race, they're in the window for 2 stops right now. Just entering that window for 2-stop race right now, where everyone else is going to have to make 2 more as well.
Oh, bit of a dramatic move there by Kevin Ruff and Ryan Bean. Really made a dramatic move there, probably defending from Josh Maxwell, but it's going to be pretty inevitable right now that Josh Maxwell will move up to P4. But it looks like Kevin Ruff sees that his race is mainly with Ryan Bean other than Josh Maxwell.
Well, I think all they're seeing right now is I got a car in front of me that I need to get around. I'm faster than him. He's taking my line. What do I got to do to get around him? But my tires are starting to fall off. So, I mean, California, yeah, it's a multi-groove track. We've seen that already. It's a long track. We've seen that already. As these cars hustle it down the back straight, you can see the personality I was talking about. If you look at the cars as they go down the back straight, you see those bumps just shaking the heck out of them. But they've also got to be a very patient race on this thing. Moves don't happen lightning quick here. Wrecks do, the moves don't. You got to be patient with your overtakes. You got to be patient setting the guy up and getting into him and getting around him. Catching is one thing, getting around is another, especially in California.
Michael Sheffield now out to a 3-second lead over Briggs Swope now, and Swope trying to close that gap the best he can, but unable to do it so far. He's going to need a caution if he wants to try and close that gap to Sheffield. I think a lot of the drivers will be needing a caution right now, but none more so than Brandon Biesinger, who's a lap down now as Kevin Sibilia becomes the second driver to bring it down in the green here.
Yeah, Kevin Sibilia bringing it in. Don't know if that was intentional or is he getting something repaired?
Oh, Jordan
Don't
Collins.
know, but
Jordan Collins is in as well.
I'm also okay. This must be. These are the guys that stayed out, aren't they?
I believe so. I actually think Jordan Collins brought it down pit road during the caution, though.
All right, Jordan Collins bringing it in again. Probably working. I'm going to split up my tires and get as much as I can on newer tires. Ryan Bean restarted that up on the front row. He hasn't bringing it to pit road yet, and he's fallen back to the 6th position. Craig Burns. Yep, Craig Burns bringing it in pit side. So it looks like our question has been answered. They're bringing it in on lap 38. That's how far they can go on the tank and go faster. As far as they want to work those older tires, pit stops happening under green.
Yeah, Trevor Massetti following him down pit road as well. So green flag pit stops are underway for the guys that stayed out during the caution. Now we're looking at Calvin Ruff and Ryan Bean. Will those be the next guys to bring it down this time around? We are about to start lap 40 of this race, and that means we only have 61 laps remaining of this race. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yep, Calvin Ruff and Ryan Bean bringing it down pit road as expected.
Yes, they are. Okay, now here's where that strategy call that they made of staying out earlier is going to pay off. These guys, are they going to fall down a lap by pitting under green to the leaders? And if they do, all they can do is hope that those leaders pit again before a caution comes out and catches them that one lap down. The caution being the green equalizer, that'll shake the whole field right back up. But strategy playing out, you make your bed, now you got to lay in it and run like you can.
Yep, as there is Ryan Bean in his pit box, Calvin Ruff, and they are taking tyres. They're both taking 4 tyres, so probably the best time to do it. As Michael Sheffield goes up a lap now, he is on those two, so Ruff and Bean now a lap down. But as we've mentioned already several times, tyre wear is going to be a factor at this point for those guys that took the pit stop during that last caution.
Yeah, now, you noticed they held it out there to lap 38, lap 39. Okay, we know we got fuel range to 38, 39. Call it 40 to make it easy. They're going to have to pit again at lap 80. So they're good on tires. They've got an extra set in case a late race caution comes out. They can do it on one more stop. But these guys that came in at lap 20, okay, go 4 laps, you're lap 60. That puts you on the edge as caution on the race, on the track.
Yeah, we do have a caution on the track, and we can't really see it. I think it's Jordan Collins. It is Jordan Collins. Got it all wrong coming back into pit road, I think it was. I'm going to take a look and see what happened to him here. He just got it all wrong on pit entry right there.
Yeah, he was holding. Oh no, he got into the outside wall.
Yeah, and he got into a Rusty Modesty as well. So there was an outside wall hit and a collision with Rusty Modesty at the same time. So, oh, that was an interesting one. And again, it's that aero push that bites people once again. And Jordan Collins, more bad luck for that number 13 car.
Okay, now what were we talking about with the strategy? Those guys that just pitted under green, they got what? Maybe 4 laps on their tires in race conditions. Everyone else, I don't know if they're going to hold it out or if they're going to come in and pit now. Now they can come in and pit and make it under one more stop, and that's going to basically put everyone back on the same pit strategy.
Absolutely. But with that, we are going to head straight to... we're just almost about halfway now, so we may as well head to our halfway commercial right now. So with that, while they're getting things figured out during this caution, we're going to head away for just a couple of minutes, but we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes, as I've already mentioned. And do not go anywhere. Don't change the channel, or just go and get a cup of tea. We'll be right back. And we are back live here at Auto Club for the Medieval Racing League, the Sunny Days 100 here on ESPN. And we're about to go racing once again, and Briggs Swope will be bringing us back to green here for this third restart of the night. For those that are just joining us, it was an incident between Rusty Modesty and Jordan Collins that brought out that last caution. But right now we are ready to go racing once again. There goes the pace car, and Briggs Swope will bring us back to green. He's in control of the field on the outside as green flag in the air. Barney the flagman is waving desperately. I'm sure his arm's going to fall off if he keeps waving like that. But we are racing once again, and Briggs Swope, a good restart for him, but just as good a restart for Josh Maxwell right behind him.
Yeah, Josh Maxwell working the rear bumper of Briggs Swope, follows right into line, doesn't want to do it so hard, but take a look at who's on the move. Michael Sheffield, he brought it into pit lane as the leader, slid through his pit while we were at commercial, had to back up, came back out of the pits in fourth position behind Swope, Maxwell, and Ezel, and he's already worked himself up into second position, and he's already looking for more.
Yeah, and already making his way through the field as well is Rusty Modesty. Look at the move he's making through the middle right now. And he's already onto the inside of Josh Maxwell as he tries to move his way up to third place. And Rusty Modesty will move up to third place. A great restart by that Sinclair, number 6.
Yeah, Rusty Modesty, he's on the whip, trying to get to the back of Sheffield. He plans on following Sheffield through. Sheffield's got his sights set on Briggs Swope right now. Briggs Swope's going, man, I got to get out of here. But, yeah, you know, we saw what was going to be pit strategies playing out. And then that caution came at that time. The guys in pit that had just pit that stayed out on the first caution, they took the wave around, restarted at the back of this field as the leaders that hadn't pit, they all came into pit. So everyone's back on the same pit strategy, and everyone can make it with one more stop from here.
Absolutely, as we're still looking at Rusty Modesty, still trying to close in, but there goes Michael Sheffield round the outside of Briggs Swope to move his way up to the lead once again. And we've got shuffling all the way through the pack right now, and actually Ryan Ezel still holding strong up there just ahead of Brian Fighton. Look at this gaggle of cars right behind him now. They are all over the place there trying to battle for what they can right here.
Yeah, it is a great track. You know, California, multiple grooves, big wiggle for who was that? Was that Brendan Biesinger?
No, it was Zappadil. Yeah.
Oh, big wiggle as he was working his way through traffic. Multiple grooves. Everyone rooting and gouging for what they could get right now after the restart while they have the fresh tires before they settle into a long run. But Michael Sheffield already out front, already checking out. Rusty Modesty made a very bold move to take second place away from Briggs Swope. And take a look now, Briggs Swope is, just look at this gaggle of cars, 2-3 wide behind them.
Yeah, this is just descended into madness right now as we've got side by side between the two Biesingers and Brendan Biesinger. Brendan Biesinger looking to make headway on his father, and he does. Trevor Massetti trying to make his way back through the field as well as we, it's just absolute, I like to call it controlled chaos out there on track right now.
Well, that's exactly what it is right now. Controlled chaos. These cars are a handful. This track is old. You see those black seams in between the lanes. Get your tires on those going around a corner. You're going to slide up a lane. You're not going to find that traction. You want to straddle those things. These guys are finding that out as Michael Sheffield brings it back across the start-finish line out in front of the field, cross flags in the air, halfway home.
Yeah, and he gets the second stage as well, so 2 stages in a row for Michael Sheffield. We just saw a pretty critical mistake there by Briggs Swope. Got a big slide on going through the tri-oval, and that's lost him quite a few spots now. He's dropped to P7 as another big mover through the field. Jeff Carson moves his way up to P4 ahead of Josh Maxwell.
Yeah, Jeff Carson, man, under the radar in that number 9 machine, bringing it up as he dials up the low lane. Looking to get another spot on the 6 car of Rusty Modesty. Don't know what happened to him, but he fell off way big time back into that gaggle. But don't look now, 3 wide right behind Ryan Ezel.
Yeah, that's...
They're all over the dang place. I love it.
Yeah, they are, as they're coming out of turn 2 right now. It's actually Ryan Ezel that's going to shuffle things out right now. Right behind him is Chad Beesinger, Trevor Massetti, Brendan Beesinger is right behind him. Kevin Ruff, who's fallen back into P10 right now. Kevin Zabladil is starting to make his way forward. He's going to move to the inside of Kevin Ruff right now, and he'll move his way forward, trying to look for a position on Jordan Collins as well, but not going to get it done here as Zabladil goes for another slide through the tri-oval.
Oh, wow, he got that thing all sorts of loose. You can see him batting flies, looked like he was swatting flies on that steering wheel, and Kevin Ruff almost into the back of him as he lost a lot of momentum, but he did slide up. He did get that spot, and now has his sights set on the car right in front of him, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Jordan Collins in the 13 machine.
Collins is back down in P16 right now. He's right on the back of, I believe that's Brandon. No, it was both of the B singers actually. He's in P16 right now. He's actually a lap down, I believe. So he's trying to make his way back through the field right now and try and get his lap back to Harway, but that damage on his car probably going to prevent him from doing so. One driver that's really putting Michael Sheffield under pressure now for the first time here tonight. Brian Fine is showing some really intensive speed right here now, Byron. He's right behind Michael Sheffield now.
Yeah, and they're on an equal footing with fuel and equal footing with tires. Now it's all going to boil down to how hard is Brian Fine going to drive that car. He drives it into the corners way deeper, which cuts the distance. But Michael Sheffield is just holding such a pretty wheel in that mid to high lane that he's carrying that high side momentum while not wearing the tires as much as everyone trying to catch up to him. We'll have to keep our eyes on this as Brian Fine keeps chopping into that lead in the corners, but gets it extended back out on the straightaways.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of having clean air in front of you. Michael Sheffield able to keep that engine cool, keep those tires clean, and just keep it out in front right there. Brian Fine, not so clean air as, he's got cleaner air than these guys behind him, because look at this bunch of cars again. Rusty Modesty looks like he's the cork in the bowl right now, because he's got a whole bunch of cars right behind him right now.
Oh yeah, Rusty Modesty, he's got all sorts of traffic. He's got the Ryan Ezel, he's got the B-Singer pair, he's got, don't look now, but on the charge, not Zabladil, but man, I got to cycle back up through this. It's right in between the B singers at the moment. That'd be the number 5 machine of Zell's split, and right behind them,
Jordan Collins is a lap down.
There we go. The 13 of Jordan Collins was lapped down. That's why I couldn't find him on my scoring.
Yep,
a lap down.
Lap down and damaged. Trevor Massetti, Kevin Ruff right behind them, and Kevin Zabladil is right there with them as well. Carl Burke is there too in the outdoor cast iron cooking number 53. Ryan Bean is right there as well, as Briggs Swope, who was the leader on the restart, has fallen all the way back to P14 now, Byron.
Yeah, and I was just watching Brendan Beesinger. He got around Rusty Modesty by diving it in deep into the corner, but when he washed up, he lost so much momentum, he allowed Rusty Modesty to get back up to him. They've got a drag race down the back straight. Ryan Ezel's got the best view of it as they slot back, front straight, as they slot back in. But watch how the B-Singers take that corner low. Ezel goes low this time into 1 and 2. Gets it. Look at him fishtail that thing. You can see that car almost crab walk around the corner, but he just can't hold the momentum that outside lane does, and can't hold it on the back straight.
Now just Kevin Ruff just hit the wall there. That can't have been nice for the 12, as Ezel now going to be side by side with Rusty Modesty. That was Brendan Beesinger. And I said this earlier on in the broadcast, Byron. He had a horrible restart to Bristol, still managed to come back and win this thing. Is he going to try and do it a second time here tonight? He's already back up to P5.
Yeah, P5 and looking for more, but I don't know. Has anyone got anything from Michael Sheffield, who just seems to be holding the proper line, the pretty wheel? Brian Fine hasn't been able to close the gap. As a matter of fact, the gap's fallen off to over half a second. Jeff Carson is the next challenger behind that pair. He's 2 seconds back, and then you got to go almost another second back to Josh Maxwell as they're starting to string them out here, and they've worn the goodie off the tires after that pit stop. Now it's time to hold on, because if this thing stays green, right around lap 80, we should be seeing them come down for the last set of tires and the last bit of fuel.
And just as you mentioned, Josh Maxwell is starting to close the gap on Jeff Carson now. That gap's starting to come down. As we go back to Chad Basinger right now, he's still battling out there with Rusty Modesty, Ryan Ezell, and Trevor Massetti right now. As lap by lap, we're seeing one car just like literally pull away from this gaggle of cars, and this big pack of cars starting to get smaller and smaller. And you've seen it right there. Chad Basinger now managed to get away from Rusty Modesty and is now starting to pull away. So like I said, Rusty Modesty probably the cork in the bottle here, just holding people up, and once they go past him, they're just able to pull away just as easily.
Yeah, you know what? Even though the Brendan Basinger is a second up the track, you know, once Chad was able to get his nose out into cleaner air, I'm not going to say clean air, but cleaner air, you notice how he was able to leg out, and the other 3 cars are left battling. I think you hit the nail on the head. Clean air is the issue. If you get that on the nose of the car, you can get it into the corner and make that corner stick and keep that momentum without washing up the track into somebody.
Yeah, we're looking at Chad Basinger right now, and he's able to do that right now. He's about a second and a half behind his son, Brendan Basinger, and he's able to turn that car in a lot easier than Rusty Modesty is right now. And same for Trevor Massetti, who's actually putting a move on Modesty and will get around him. And now it'll be up to Trevor Massetti to try and pull away.
Yeah, but don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Trevor Massetti, you saw him make the move low in the corner and get around him, but you saw Rusty Modesty have to get on the binders because Trevor was not able to carry that momentum after making that low move. The high side momentum is just key as Rusty Modesty looks to do the same thing to him on the other end of the track.
Yeah, Modesty not able to do it yet though, as now this field is starting to get strung out. A lot of single file racing, unless you're Briggs Swope, who's trying to come back at Carl Burke right now. I just thought Ryan Bean and Craig Burns would be this far back as well, because they were leading this thing in the early part of this race.
Yeah, but they stayed out on that first caution. Even though they took the wave around and got back to the tail end of this pack on the second caution, they also had 5 laps of racing on their tires, of hard racing on the new tires that they took under the when they did their green flag stop. So, you know, tire wear, we know it here, it is key. And a difference of 5 laps is going to be a big difference. So not only did they have more wear on the tires than everyone in front of them, they had to start behind, you know, everyone in front of them, and it's tough to gain that track position back.
Brendan Basinger is starting to close the gap on Jeff Carson and Josh Maxwell. You can see him right there. He was able to get away from that pack, and now look at him. Seems to have a lot more speed than Maxwell and Carson as they come through turns 3 and 4, and is looking for a podium spot here. And again, who'd have thought that at the start of the race, considering how far back he fell?
Yeah, and Josh Maxwell has really gobbled up the gap between him and Jeff Carson. Brian Fine, second place, kind of out on an island by himself. Michael Sheffield really out on an island by himself. The battle right now is for that contested third podium spot, as Basinger's going around Josh Maxwell right now.
Yeah, and he's going to get the job done in towards turn 3. Seems to have the better car underneath him right now, and he doesn't get the third and fourth place away, because Maxwell going right underneath him at the bottom of the track there, trying to defend for all his worth as he comes through the tri-oval. We are only 35 laps away from the checkered flag.
Yeah, Brendan Basinger able to carry that outside line momentum, even though Josh Maxwell, you see him advance in the corners, he just can't hold the speed on corner exit that outside lane does, as he does it one more time, dives it down in low under Brendan Basinger, but Brendan Basinger, the high side momentum brings him back to the front down the straightaway as they head off into the corner. Now, Josh Maxwell diving it into the corner. Watch this, Sam. Who gets to the start-finish line first?
Well, Brendan Biesing is trying to get the job done on Josh Maxwell, but every time he tries to make that outside pass, guess who's right there in front of him to block his momentum? Jeff Carson is not helping him as Biesinger finally gets the job done, and right away, Biesinger is right on the attack on Carson and gets the job done just as easily, gets a big slide out of turn 2, but that's going to be job done there for Brendan Biesinger. All he needed to do was get around Josh Maxwell, and Jeff Carson was just going to be easy pickings from that point onwards.
Yeah, but watch Jeff Carson run this low lane right now. You'll see him pull up to the side of Biesinger darn near, but he just can't carry that momentum as there goes Josh Maxwell sailing on by Jeff Carson.
And Carson's going to bring it into pit road, actually.
No, Carson going to bring pit side.
Yeah, followed by Trevor Massetti, Calvin Ruff, and Ryan Bean also going to bring it down. So strategy coming into play, and this will more than likely help them to the end of the race now. Money stops are in effect right now.
Yeah, okay. Now remember, we said that the whole field could have made it to lap 80. So that was, a 40-lap run and then 20 laps to the end. Well, that's 60 laps. These guys are divvying it up. They're running 30 and 30. They're thinking, you know what, I'm going to get the best out of the tires, and then I'll get the next best out of the tires. Now, Michael Sheffield out in the front. He is got to get as much as he can out of what he's got in that car for the next 10 to 15 laps before he makes his stop and pray that a caution doesn't come out. Caution comes out, he's in the driver's seat as everyone else is pitting. We saw this scenario play out once before. We'll see how it plays out again.
Both of the Biesingers coming down pit road next for their money stops. They are in on lap 68, coming on to 69. And more strategy being played out for the BSR drivers as they come to their pit stalls. And Michael Sheffield, let's see how long he's going to keep it out for. And the answer is not for very long. He's coming into pit road right now here, Byron.
Yeah, he's answering what everyone else is doing, and that tells me that he thinks, hey, these guys on fresh tires are going to be making up a lot of track position on me on my old tires. Let me answer it. So they did the undercut. He's doing the overcut with the answer. We'll see where this cycles back out.
Yeah, big thank you to Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking saying, hey, Sam, a great job on Carl Burke's colour schemes. You think those are good. You wait till you see his IndyCar that's coming up. He's got a classic Indy 500.
Oh, I saw that.
He's got a classic Indy 500 race coming up, and yeah, that's a pretty special paint scheme that he's got on there. As we go back to the action out on track right now, it looks like Brian Fine is going to be the next one to bring it down pit road, and that 57 McDonald's machine is going to come down right now. Everybody else opted to stay out. Oh,
all right, Michael Sheffield is now. Michael Sheffield leaving pit lane right now. Let's see where he cycles back in with the leaders, the earlier ones.
Oh, there.
As they go around him.
Yeah. Oh dear. So Sheffield's got some work to do here as now Trevor Massetti has the effective lead after the pit stops, and he's got Jeff Carson right behind him. Brendan Biesinger has benefited from that. Michael Sheffield, meanwhile, has fallen back to what is effectively P4 now.
Yeah, now you got to wonder, he kept it out there, 2 laps over what everyone else was doing on their green flag stops, and those 2 laps cost him that much track position, because I've watched him all the way into his pits and all the way out of his pits, and I'm sure you can see on your timing and scoring, Sam, he hit a very good money stop. He hit his marks, didn't overrun, he got in and he got out in almost perfect time and lost that much track position.
Trevor Massetti currently leading, will be leading once the pit stops cycle out. Josh Maxwell is the latest one in pit road, but Massetti hits the wall out of 4. That's going to hurt him, and that has hurt him. You can see it right there, that car twitching to say, look, I'm hurt. Please don't do that again to me. Oh dear. Big heartbreak for Trevor Massetti. I was going to say he hasn't won a race since the first of the duels, and now he's alongside Jeff Carson, who's trying to take the position away from him, but Massetti looks as though he might have collected himself back up and might just be able to hold on, but for how long?
Yeah, now this is the part of the race. You've heard me talk about it with this league. You've heard me talk about it with other leagues. This is the time of the race that mental exhaustion starts to kick in. And all you got to do is miss your marks just once, and someone's there to pounce and take advantage of it. You saw that just happen, and Trevor Maisetti, to his credit, gathered it up, got his composure back pretty darn quick. Usually with drivers, when they make a mental error like that, it takes them a couple of laps to settle back in. Trevor Maisetti, back on the concentration, back on the whip.
Yeah, Jeff Carson and Brendan Beesing are right on his tail, though, so he's got to really put that concentration to good use right now. He's already got around, I believe it was Briggs Swope who was having problems in pit road. He's just come back out right now. Maisetti has just got to get around Carl Burke, Craig Burns and Kevin Zabladil to make his way back, well, make his way to the front, I believe, for the first time here tonight. So Maisetti using the pit stops very much to his advantage, as Zabladil now does bring it into pit road, and Zabladil really have to step on the binders to get slowed down for the line.
Yeah, I hope he didn't catch a penalty on that one.
Oh.
As
we've had an incident for Briggs Swope here. Swope got it all wrong through 3 and 4, got into the grass, came back up on the track. Thankfully, nobody around him. Caution does not come out. So, unfortunate for Briggs Swope, he was having such a great run as Burns actually staying out. He's the last driver, he's the only driver not to bring it down pit road yet.
Yeah, and if that caution would have come out, Craig Burns would have looked like a complete genius. He would have been forcing everyone else to take a wave around on him. He'd have been able to get into the pit and get off of the pit. Well, maybe not. Zabladil coming out of pit lane. Carl Burke coming out of pit lane.
Yep.
Trevor Maisetti is 26 seconds behind Burns. Yeah, caution would not have helped Burns right there.
No, because Maisetti's already back on the lead lap, as is Carson and Beesinger and Sheffield, as those four are starting to get closer and closer with 24 laps to go. Actually, make that 25 laps to go in this race, as yeah, we're going to have a big battle before this is over, I think, Byron.
Yeah, because I'm checking out the time. Michael Sheffield is tracking down Beesinger, Carson, and Maisetti ever so slowly. He's doing it cautiously. He knows he's got 25 laps to go, so he's not burning his stuff up, but he is closing that gap on him.
Now, we've had a problem for Rusty Modesty through the pit stops. For some reason, he has fallen to a couple of laps down now for some reason. I'm wondering if he got a penalty in pit road. I'm going to have to check that out, but Rusty Modesty really falling off the ball in this one, as Craig Burns still keeping it out there, staying to that high line. Doesn't look like he's going to bring it in anytime soon. Surely he's not going to try and make it to the end from here.
Well, no, because last we saw Craig Burns in the pit lane was at lap 40. So I'm thinking right around lap 80 is about all the distance he's going to be able to get out of that machine on a tank of Go Fast. I mean, he's really doing everything he can to find out where the bottom of the tank is. Right now, he's just holding it out there, hoping that before he runs out of fuel, hoping a caution comes out. Yeah, he'll be back restarting probably around the 12th to 13th position, but he'll have the freshest set of tires on the track and be able to carve his way forward quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's what he's hoping. He's hoping to see a caution in the next 2 or 3 laps.
Absolutely, as we're still focused on Craig Burns right now. We are seeing a battle, though, for that second spot. Though Maisetti able to keep it out there in that second spot, as Beesinger now up to 3rd place. Jeff Carson falling back, and Michael Sheffield now going to be the next one to try and put a pass on the number 9 there. Right behind them is Briggs Swope, but Swope is a lap down right now as they come out of turn 4, and that gap between Maisetti and Burns is getting smaller and smaller. Burns has got to bring it in. He's got to bring it in soon, otherwise he's going to get swallowed up.
Well, he's going to get swallowed up, yeah, but he's, like I said, he's hoping and praying right now that a caution comes out to save him on that deal. He brings it down. He's down on the inside of that front turn 1, working lap 80 right now. I don't see that he has but another lap or 2 of fuel left in his tank.
Yeah, as Maisetti's still holding on to 2nd place right now, as Beesinger tracking him down. Sheffield now up to P4 after dispatching of Jeff Carson. Watch for Michael Sheffield. He's had the fastest car since the first caution. and will be looking to maintain that speed and try and get around Biesinger and Massetti. But we've seen in the past that Massetti and Biesinger, not the easiest people to get around, as here comes Sheffield now, getting ever closer to that number 68 coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Sheffield, he is right there, and all he can do, what he's hoping for right now, is he's hoping to see these guys start racing each other side by side, burning their stuff up. He's not. Well, as he goes down to make the move, looks like he's got that inside line. He took a peek on the inside of Brendan Biesinger, who's taking a peek on the inside of Massetti right now. We got a big-time contest for second place going on.
Yeah, which will be for the effective lead once Craig Burns does make it down pit road, and Biesinger going to take a big dive to the inside, and Biesinger going to slide on the track. Is that going to affect his speed? Coming out of turn 2, Massetti going to come back at him down the backstretch right now, and will try and take that second place back. And that was a very bold move by Brendan Biesinger. Didn't quite pay off for him right there.
No, he wasn't able to hold that momentum.
Burns is in.
But now he, you see him, now he's on the backside of Trevor Massetti. Massetti able to make the crossover and beat him on the drag race back to the start-finish line. But don't look now. Here comes Sheffield to the inside of Biesinger.
Yeah, and just as that was happening, Craig Burns has come down pit road. So now this is effectively the battle for the race win now. 19 laps to go. It's a 3-car race as things stand right now, unless Jeff Carson can find some speed in that number 9. But it looks as though he's struggling at the moment, as now Sheffield drag race towards turn 3 with Brendan Biesinger. Michael Sheffield will take away second place. It looks like he's going to try and take away first place as well. Big dive in on the number 8 right now. Michael Sheffield takes the lead back and in. Wow, that is a big power move there by the 29.
All he did was he laid back and he watched those guys get those tires hot by racing, doing their moves side by side, crossover and everything. He kept his stuff cool. And when he needed to make it stick on that low run, he made it stick. And then you saw him take that big slide up the track with the slide job, but it didn't matter. He was way clear of the front of Massetti. Michael Sheffield back to the point.
That he is. Can Massetti do anything about it? Brendan Biesinger probably just rebounding for another shot here. Jeff Carson has closed back up to these 3 as well. So we still have a 4-car battle for the race win here as we're coming to 17 laps to go here at Auto Club, and it's Michael Sheffield still in control. We're seeing a battle behind them between Ryan Bean, Brian Fine, Chad Biesinger is right with them as well. That is your battle for the last spot in the top 5 right now. So battles going on all over the place in this late stage of the race.
Yeah, don't look now, but that number 6 of Rusty Modesty is all of a sudden. Well, he's a lap down. Never mind. He's back on the whip. I thought he was on that lead lap. Sorry about that. As he is doing everything he can to stay right up there with him. He's right behind Kevin Ruff. So, yeah, lead battle going on. Michael Sheffield's starting to check out. This second position is still hotly contested right now between Massetti and Biesinger.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the best times out there, right? See who's got the fastest lap of the race so far, and I believe fastest lap is going to go to Trevor Massetti so far. Actually, no, Ryan Bean is looking like he's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's still got some speed in that number 28 machine.
Take a look at the battle for second place heating up right now. Brendan Biesinger got one heck of a run on the inside, got right up to the tail. Now he dives it down to the down on the inside of Trevor Massetti. Gets the nose pointed out, but can he hold the momentum as Massetti starts to wash up? Massetti, top of the line momentum, carrying him out. Look at that drag race, dead heat at the line. Give that one to Massetti for the moment.
Yeah, as Biesinger's going to try and dive it down there once again for that second spot. Massetti's struggling on that outside line, and Biesinger will take that second place away as they come out of turn 2. 15 laps to go here at Auto Club, and it looks like Michael Sheffield is starting to pull away from these guys, but the battle right now is between Massetti and Biesinger, as Massetti's going to dive it to the inside of Biesinger through 3 and 4. Biesinger's going to do a worldy job to keep it off the wall there, but still a dead heat between these two, going to be side by side down towards the line once again.
Yeah, Biesinger getting the advantage with the high side momentum. Biesinger running what we call the Larson line. He's up in that top groove, up by the wall, carrying all the speed that he can carry. And if you notice, Biesinger kind of seems to be working a line a little higher than Sheffield, trying to keep as much clean air on the nose of that car as he can. Sheffield goes low, Biesinger goes high. Sheffield goes high, Biesinger dials down a little lower, looking for every bit of grip he can on the front end of that car.
Problems for Jordan Collins. He is effectively done in this race right now as he brought it down pit road. I think he might have missed his pit stall though. I don't think he is done. I think he might have just had a bit of a mishap with his pit stall and towed it in the end. But still, this battle going on for second place. And Massetti really struggling to stay off that wall right now, as it looks like Massetti might have burned his stuff up. Plus, that damage from earlier might be starting to come back to haunt him now. Yeah,
he had to get off of the throttle because he was really tied up against that outside wall. He stayed in it as long as he could. Now he's looking for some fresh air to the nose of the car, trying to cut the distance on that track between him and Biesinger as he washes it back up, back to the outside wall. Yeah, he's having a tough time keeping it down there. And Michael Sheffield, looking in the mirror, seeing these two battle, is just loving it. He says, "You guys battle all you want, allows me to check on it out."
And it does, as he's now out to a pretty decent gap over Biesinger and Massetti. And again, the battle resuming once again. I think Biesinger's made a mistake there through 1 and 2, because there goes Massetti back up to second place again. Biesinger struggling. I think he might have got loose through there.
Yeah, I'm going back, taking a look at it. Yeah, Biesinger got it. He was trying to run that high line, carried way too much momentum, got the car all kinds of sideways. I'm going to go back and take another look on another camera angle on that, as Brendan Biesinger, brings it around the corner. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Sam. He got all kinds of loose sideways on corner exit and had to chase it. And that's the first time I ever seen anyone chase it down a track.
And you see it right there, the pass for second place between Massetti and Biesinger. So Massetti back up to second place. Biesinger has got some work to do to try and get it back as we're coming through turns 3 and 4. And once they cross the line, we will be 10 laps to go in this race. Now, this is where it's coming down to crunch time. But for Michael Sheffield, he's just got to hold it out in front right now. He's got tons of more speed than the two behind him as they keep battling. Massetti able to keep it out there. Jeff Carson starting to bring himself back into the game once again.
Yeah, a little better back in the field. You have got a three-way battle with Ryan Bean, Brian Fine, and who is that right in there?
Chad Biesinger.
Yeah, it's Chad Biesinger, Ryan Bean, and Brian Fine. Three-way dance looking for the 5th spot.
Yeah, last spot in the top 5, and it's very important with regards to playoff points if you get a top 5 in this race. And that's where the battle is right now between Chad Biesinger, Ryan Bean, Brian Fine, who had a horrible race last week, having a much better one this time around. Looks like Ryan Bean might have scraped the wall there coming out of turn 4 though.
Yep, it allows Chad Biesinger to get by him on the bottom side. Chad Biesinger works it back up to that top lane for the momentum as Brian Fine is now starting to work back up to the rear bumper of Ryan Bean. Ryan Bean might have scrubbed a little bit of speed off of that car, but 5th place is still way up for grabs.
A little bit behind them is Josh Maxwell. He has got, that's Rusty Modesty behind him, and Rusty Modesty is a lap down. Cameron Ruff is the next one for position behind him, but they have a car between them. That is Rusty Modesty, and there is Briggs Swope to the bottom of the track. Swope also a lap down. Carl Burke is running by himself. He's in a bit of a battle, actually, for that 11th spot with Kevin Zabladil, and they're trying to close in on Ryan Izell. There's still some battles going on around the track, as right behind them is Craig Burns. Obviously, unfortunately, Craig Burns falling foul because he tried to keep it out there as long as possible. But one man who's not having as much trouble right now is this man in the 29. We are coming to 7 laps to go here, Byron. He is out to he's out to a 1.3 second lead over Trevor Massetti now, looking very comfortable.
Yeah, he was loving to see that battle go on in his rearview mirror. It allows him to run the line that he wants to run, hit his marks the way he wants to hit them. And if you take a look at Michael Sheffield as he rolls around this track, he goes down low across the start-finish line, brings her out wide to turn 1, but he's working the upper to middle, right about the middle groove around 1 and 2, and then just lets it sing right back out to the wall. to keep as much momentum as he can and just let it eat down the back straight. And then you'll see him run that line that he prefers to run through 3 and 4, which he brings it down to about that middle groove. As long as he's there with no one in his way, that's the line he's been running, and that's the fastest lap around this track with the tires that the AJ got on him.
Yeah, we just had a nice onboard with him right there, as you called it out right there. So Michael Sheffield, just as you would call it, Byron, holding a pretty wheel as we come to 6 laps to go. All he's got to do is keep facing forward, keep that car out the wall, and he is home and free. Trevor Massetti has broken away from Brendan Biesinger. Brendan Biesinger now has Jeff Carson challenging him for that last spot on the podium now. Carson might see an advantage here, seeing how loose that number 68 is right now.
Yeah, Brendan, he really, really pushed that car in that battle with Trevor Massetti and worked his rear tires, probably burned the right rear up on it, trying to get around him, running that low lane. Jeff Carson just sitting back there watching it. Jeff Carson being cool, calm, and collected, keeping his tires cool so he has a little something for this last charge on these final 5 laps of this race. But going back in the field, Chad Biesinger, he's got himself he's locked into that final position for the top 5. But Brian Fine and Ryan Bean are throwing haymakers at each other for that 6th spot.
Yeah, while they're doing that, they're allowing Josh Maxwell to close in on them, so they need to be careful if they don't want to lose any more spots, as Kevin Ruff now still going side by side with Rusty Modesty right now, and that might be frustrating the 12 because he knows Modesty's a lap down, doesn't really want to be stuck behind that number 6 for too long.
Yeah, but Rusty Modesty, he's trying to stay, he's battling for position with Briggs Swope. Yeah, we're coming to the closing laps, but he's trying to get up to Briggs Swope because if the caution would come out, that position is for the lucky dog.
Well, with 4 laps to go, if a caution was to come out right now, we would be in a situation that Byron would love to call.
Green one checker.
Yeah, and we have 2 attempts at those, so going to be interesting to see if that happens tonight. But at the moment, with 3 laps to go, it doesn't look like it will happen unless we have a big crash between any of these drivers battling out. And the biggest battle right now is between Brian Fine and Chad Biesinger. The battle between Brendan Biesinger and Jeff Carson has kind of faded away. Chad Biesinger all on his own. Yeah, the biggest battle right now is between that 57 and the 28 right now for the 6th spot.
Yeah, and Ryan Bean is all over the tail of Brian Fine right now. Brian Fine doing everything he can in that McDonald's 57 machine to run away from the Hendrick.com car of Ryan Bean.
Yep, as they make it their way through, I said it in Italian, making their way through turns 3 and 4. The popsicle sticks are in the air though for this man, the number 29, Michael Sheffield. Since the first caution has been absolutely on it with that speed in that Budweiser number 29 and has not looked back since. Kind of fell back for that last set of pit stops, but did not affect him too much. But he's not home and dry right now. Trevor Massetti is starting to cut into that lead, but is running out of time now in that number 8.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Massetti has the tires or has the car under him to shave that 1 second lead off of Michael Sheffield in the 29 machine. Sheffield brings it across the start-finish line. White flag in the air. Final time around Auto Club Speedway.
Now we've had a problem for Jeff Carson. He's had an off out of the exit at turn 4. His car getting loose underneath him, and he's lost P4 and will probably lose P5 now as here comes Brian Fine. That's a battle now for the last spot in the top 5, so Carson needs to be careful. One man who does not need to be careful now is this man. He's only got 2 more corners to go, and that is one Mr. Michael Sheffield. He will make it through 3 for the final time, through turn 4 for the final time. Michael Sheffield, who's been dominant since the drop of the green flag after the first caution, brings it across the line and wins at Auto Club.
Oh, don't know what happened with Brian Fine as Ryan Bean gets around to Brian Fine.
Oh! Ryan Bean had a big crash across the line there.
Well, Ryan Bean looks like he blew the motor right there at the end. But if you go back and take a look, Ryan Bean just flew by the outside of Brian Fine to take that spot away from him on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag. I'm wondering if Brian Fine didn't run it out of fuel. Maybe he short fueled it in the pit.
Well, we'll find out in just a second. It doesn't say anything on my time and scoring, but for right now, the celebrations go to this man who's currently doing his burnouts on the start-finish straight, and that is one Mr. Michael Sheffield. Very deserved win here tonight, Byron. Very well put on. Since the drop of the green flag after the first caution here tonight, just been absolutely on it with the speed in that number 29 Budweiser machine.
Yeah, he's got Auto Club Speedway figured out really good. It's going to be interesting to see when we go to the sister track at Michigan, with the differences in that track, if he's going to be able to be dominant on the other 2 mile oval that we're going to visit.
Well, we'll soon find out when we head there. Next week, though, on ESPN, we will have more action with the Medieval Racing League. We're just going to find out where we are next week before we conduct the interviews. As next week we are at Martinsville, so next week it's going to be a blender, but a bit slower this time round.
Well, Martinsville, the paperclip. You have a 1/4 mile drag strip, followed by a U-turn, another 1/4 mile drag strip, followed by a U-turn, then a 1/4 mile drag strip, followed by a U-turn. Are you getting the pattern here? You're going to be on the gas, on the brake, on the gas, on the brake. And don't forget, yes, you do have a horn. Its color is chrome, and you'll probably be using it to bump someone up out of the groove to get around them.
Absolutely. And Byron, don't look now, but the man with you right now is Michael Sheffield, who's joining you in victory lane right now.
Michael Sheffield, man, you put on a driving school here at Auto Club Speedway. That last money stop, we saw you give up the pit, or the last caution, we saw you slide through the pit, give up, fall back to fourth, but you worked your way back up to the point. Covered the field when they pit, you pit, splitting that last run. Dude, you own Auto Club. Congratulations. Tell me about your race.
Thank you. It was fun. Took tires early on that first caution. Gave me good track position. Found a line that worked really well for me, and just tried to stay consistent on the throttle. Worry about what was in front of me, not what was behind me, and it ended up paying off.
Yeah, they're closing stages, man. When you got around Trevor Maisetti and Brendan Biesinger, and they started battling for the second spot, you looking in the rearview mirror, how happy were you to see them fighting it out, burning their stuff up? Because I noticed that line you were running. I'm going to steal it from you next time I go run a car at Auto Club.
Well, I tried the bottom line earlier in practice, and you could get a run there early, but after about 10 laps, it started to go away. So, I got lucky and found that line tonight, and it worked really well. And I've won some, but this definitely takes one of the top 5 spots in these cars at this track. They're such a challenge to drive. It's a blast.
Yeah, 2 Mile Oval, California. Its sister track is Michigan, but this track, I believe, has a lot more personality with the bumps on the backstretch and the seams in the corners. But looking forward to next week, we're going to something completely different than this. And that's going to be a 1/4 mile drag strip, followed by a U-turn, followed by another 1/4 mile drag strip, followed by another U-turn. What's your thoughts on Martinsville?
Martinsville's going to be interesting. Like I said, in these cars, trucks, Cup cars, completely different than these. It's just so much horsepower, and a lot of these cars are all about throttle control. So, in Martinsville, the old paperclip, it's going to be a tough track.
Going to be some hurt feelings, and the chrome bumper used, or the chrome horn used an awful lot. Congratulations on the top spot here at Auto Club. Anyone you want to shout out to that got you here?
I definitely want to thank my all my teammates, Trevor Maisetti, Craig Burns, Jerry Culver, who couldn't be here tonight, Ryan Azell, everybody. without the team, that's what makes it possible. It's always fun to run with those guys. I want to thank the rest of the guys in this league. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And I want to thank you guys up in the booth. I appreciate the broadcast.
Well, I was a little late to the show because where I'm sitting, man, it took forever today for that update to go through. I'm like, this is a small update and this is killing me. But you know what? Better late than never. And you guys, as always, put on one heck of a show. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
That's your winner, folks. Michael Sheffield, the number 29 machine, bringing it home in the first place here at Auto Club Speedway.
Absolutely. And joining me from second place is the man that was battling all night long, Trevor. It seemed that whole 100 lap race for you was just one long battle, but second place, your reward out of it here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of nonstop, just one thing after another. I was sad to leave a set in the pits after that, but definitely happy with second place. That's a good result, and I'll take it.
Yeah, and talk about that battle with Brandon Beesing after the last run of pit stops there. It looks like it was neck and neck between you two. You're side by side for multiple laps, but unfortunately, were you happy to see Brendan's tyres fall off near the end there, or were you hoping to battle him tooth and nail to the checker flag there?
Oh no, we were just talking about that. I was hoping to battle him all the way through. He and I drive very similar, I think, and he's a very fun guy to race with. But I could see going into every corner he was getting sideways, and then it was kind of just a matter of time before he sent it in a little too hard and got that wall. So I didn't want to see that, but yeah, hopefully we'll get to do that at another track.
Yeah, and this track obviously very hard on tires and very easy to get up into that wall with the aero push. And we saw you get up into the wall yourself at one point after the. Somewhere near the end. Were you worried that you were going to get too much damage after hitting the wall there?
Yeah, honestly, it felt like a pretty big hit, and the way it knocked the car loose, I thought I was not going to be as on pace as I was. But I think it might have knocked off a little bit, but it wasn't bad enough to where it was affecting the car negatively.
And it definitely helped you along to second place here tonight. Very well rewarded, and after such a tough night here tonight for yourself. Looking ahead to next week, though, we are off to another short track and probably one of the more difficult ones. We are off to the Paperclip in Martinsville. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
I mean, I feel like I love short tracks, and Martinsville is definitely up there on my favorites list. So hoping to put enough practice in to get a very decent result there, but we'll see.
All right, and who do you want to give a shout out to? Who's responsible for bringing your car to second place here tonight?
You got to say hi to Mom and Dad, Grammy and Nono, Nana and Grandpa, Auntie Karen. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys put on an awesome show. All the admins that make this thing work, my teammates, and everybody that runs in this league that makes it a fun place to be every weekend.
All right, well, Trevor, congratulations on the second place here tonight, and this is definitely going to help your cause with regards to the playoffs later in the season. Go ahead and get some rest, and we'll catch you next week when we head to the Paperclip.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sam.
So that was Trevor Massetti joining me from second place here tonight at Martinsville. Joining Byron now is the man that finished third here tonight, winner from last week at Bristol, but having to settle for the third spot on the podium. Byron.
Brendan Beesinger, you've got to give us a bit of a description of that epic battle you have with Trevor Massetti at the closing stages of this race, and how tight were you hanging on to your race seat with your butt cheeks when you got all sideways when he was coming up right behind you?
Yeah, it was a good time battling them. Very tight, in short. It was tough to hold on to that thing. If you really pushed it in the first part of the run, I killed my right rear, so it was kind of tough holding on that last 10 lap stint. But yeah, it's just awesome. Lots of really racy moments in today's race. Obviously, you're gonna get that when I ended up in 17th at one point and ended up here. So good fun night of racing.
Yeah, Auto Club Speedway always puts on a great show. And I was talking earlier, it's a long track. It's 2 miles oval. It's got multiple racing grooves, but it looked like you guys, man, when you would dive it in low, you couldn't hold that momentum and the high side would come right back around you. Tell me about some of those passes where those crossovers were working really big.
Yeah, I mean it's real intense in there because the top line was definitely dominant. So if you wanted to make a move, you were gonna kill your tires if you tried just to go in, stay low the whole time, and try and be side by side. And that run off the top was just so heavy, and you could get so much speed coming off the top. So really, the only way to get around was to slide job somebody and hope you could cross them over if they got to slide you back. So it really intense race, and really the package that we were running, or the car with the high horsepower, there's no downforce, and the fact that the top line was dominant, I'm not surprised to put on a good race, and I look forward to it probably happening again at places like Kansas, and a lot of these mile and a half. So I know this wasn't a mile and a half, but I would expect to see the same type of racing later on this year.
Yeah, Michigan, I'm thinking that's the twin sister to this track here, except for Michigan doesn't have those bumps on the backstretch and they don't have those seams in the corners. But talking about intense racing, moving forward, we're going to Martinsville next week, man. Your thoughts going ahead?
Mostly fear. I to be honest, I have never done an official race or a league race at Martinsville. I am going to be losing my Martinsville virginity next weekend, and this is a hell of a car to do that in. So I'm a little nervous, but just going to put in lots of practice this week and see what we got next Sunday.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Throttle, brake, throttle, brake, throttle, brake.
Yeah.
It's a 1/4-mile drag strip followed by a U-turn. Rinse, wash, and repeat. But, hey, congratulations on the 3rd podium spot. Anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the guys who run this league, including Michael. Congratulations to him on the win. He was awesome tonight. But just thanks to the guys who put this on. Thank you to my family. I know I've got some people tuning in, so thank you for tuning in each and every week that we race this. And shout out to you guys for broadcasting this. Just such a blast every week, and I love talking with you guys after these.
Yeah, well, you're making a habit of jumping up here in a booth at the end of a race, which means you're one of the top 3 cars at the end of that race. It's going to be fun to see how the championship shakes out for this season. Congratulations on 3rd place, my friend.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great week.
You too. That's your 3rd place driver, the 68 machine, Brendan Biesinger, bringing it home on that last step of the podium, Sam.
Yeah, and what a great race he had as well after such a difficult restart as well. And he's making a habit of this, Byron. He has a pretty difficult start to a race, and then all of a sudden somehow brings it back and gets it at least a top 5 out of it. So a very resilient driver in Brendan Biesinger, and very much going to be looking forward to see what else he can produce as the season goes by, starting with Martinsville next week. And he might be going into Martinsville very fearful next week, but just think, Byron, last time he went to a short track, he actually won the race, so we shouldn't have really too much to fear.
Yeah, but that short track at Martinsville, half-mile track, but it's a lot different than Bristol. Bristol has those banks, Martinsville doesn't. You're going to be on the throttle, on the brake real hard, and he's going to learn what the bump and run is. Pretty much the hard way. He's going to learn how to deal with adversity. He's going to have to learn how to deal with, heated emotions. Martinsville, I find the guy that can keep his composure the most and keep calm is usually the cream that rises to the top at that track. I cannot wait until next week to see what these guys do there.
Yeah, and you can tune into that one, the Paperclip 250, live on ESPN. 250 laps the scheduled distance for next week, so definitely a lot to talk about and a lot to go through when we head there next week. Looking ahead on the schedule, we do have on the other side of the channel the Majors Indianapolis 500. If you fancy some Indy action, then go across there and show Frank and Tony some love over on that side. Looking ahead on tomorrow night's schedule, you can join myself and hopefully Byron as we head to the next race. I believe we are, well, let me just double check here. We are bringing out for the first time tomorrow night, Byron, the next gen cars for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series.
Oh, that's going to be something to watch. The first time for the next gen on the track, first time for the next gen on ESPN, and I can't wait. Where are we racing at? Are we racing Dover next week?
We're racing Dover tomorrow night, bringing out the next gen cars for the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. Then Tuesday we have a double dip for you. We have the UK Sim Racing's MX5 Pro Series as they head to Zandvoort for the next round of their series, and this the championship getting ever closer for that one. Dan Hunt is really looking in his mirrors heading into that one tomorrow night. You can join myself and firstly Jake in the booth for that, and then later in the evening you can catch Frank on cameras, and you can have Ryan and Ben on commentary for Western States Racing League. Wednesday we have the Sim Racers Edge Indianapolis 500 as that one Nate Siefka looks to wrap up his second consecutive title on such a prestigious race there on Wednesday night, and that will be on ESPN.
And Nate Siefka's got some experience at the Indianapolis track, because I happened to notice that he ran the Indy Fixed yesterday and took top spot.
And he did actually run it on Friday night and won it.
Or Friday night, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and later, also on the channel, we head to Byron. I know you're looking forward to this one. We head to Spa-Francorchamps with the Endurance for Amateur series. And Byron, I know you're not going to be in the you're going to be in the booth with me in some capacity, but definitely something worth looking forward to as they go to Spa-Francorchamps.
I'm going to be flying the ESPN PH Aware Autism Awareness colors on a BMW M8 GTE class car, turning left and right at my most favorite road course, the one that started it all for me in endurance racing with the ESPN endurance team for the 24 Spa. We're going to do 128 minutes in the endurance for amateurs. I cannot wait. I was invited to run with them, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely, definitely going to be looking forward to that one. On Friday night, we're back with the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series as they head to, they head ever closer to the finale. The round of 12 will be starting on Friday. Saturday, we'll be back with the E-Formula Series as they head to Monza for the next round of their series. And then Sunday night, we have our usual broadcast with the Medieval Racing League. Before we go anywhere though, let's go to the results for tonight's race, and coming home with the victory tonight and pointing his way into the playoffs later in the season was Michael Sheffield. Trevor Massetti came home in second place as well. The two teammates getting a 1 and 2 for Roadkill Racing. Third and fourth will be going to Brendan Biesinger and Chad Biesinger, and Jeff Carson rounding out your top 5. It's Biesinger Sim Racing third, fourth, and fifth. Then you got Brian Bean in P6, P7 going to Brian Fine, P8 going to Josh Maxwell, P9 to Kevin Ruff, and Kevin Zabladil rounds out your top 10 here, Byron.
Yeah, Ryan Azell bringing it home in the 11th position. Last car on the lead lap, Carl Berg bringing home the person painted beautiful colors on that 53. I wonder who painted it for him. He brings it home in the 12th position. Briggs Swope, first car lap down, brings it home in 13th. Rusty Modesty 14th. Craig Burns not having the night that he wanted. We saw him keep it out there, hoping for a caution, but it didn't work out. Working strategy. Sometimes you got to roll the dice and it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Falling all the way back down to the P15. Putting it on the hauler early tonight in the 16th position, Jordan Collins, and Kevin Sibilia having an even more disappointing night on the hauler way early in 17th, rounding out your field.
Well, that is going to do it for us here tonight for ESPN and the Medieval Racing League. Great racing again with these guys, but we have got to get out of here. Congratulations going out to Michael Sheffield for picking up his race win and getting his way into the playoffs by way of victory, and great racing all around. We're looking forward to next week's race at Martinsville, but we are going to get out of here. My name has been Sam Cooper Bennett. Joining me in the booth was Byron Rodney. All that's left for me to say right now is keep it clean, keep it green, and we'll be back on your screens tomorrow night with racing from the Rowdy Energy Cup Series at Dover. Have a good night.